Welcome to the greatest show on television. It's game day. I'm Pat McAfee, of course, and we got the 7-time national champion, the coach, the GOAT, Nick Saban. Coach, where are we? What do we think in the college football playoffs?
Well, Pat, thanks for asking me that. Thanks for giving me shit all week and all year on this college game day show. I appreciate all the crap you gave me. I know I've gone viral many times. I think the absolute, I agree with Tim Boyle and producer Mark on the Scott and Tim Sports Show. Of course, at Alabama, and the reason I left is because, of course, publicly why I left is because the game is absolute shit. It's ruined. It's never going to come back. I can guarantee you one thing. It's not coming back, okay? It's going to be dead, and I can guarantee you this. In 2 years, you won't be able to turn on your TV on a Saturday or even a Friday night or even during the playoffs on a Monday night and see college football. Now, you might see me because I'll be on your TV every goddamn day because I'll be doing commercials making millions. Any other questions, Pat? Now put a goddamn shirt on and act like an adult. You're on TV now. Jesus Christ. I'd never recruit you. I would never recruit you at Alabama. Never. All righty. As it fades down. You got to love that.
That was gold.
Welcome to the Boyle Theater, ladies and gentlemen. Scott Ohsman, Tim Boyle.
He actually did kind of sound a little like Nick Saban there.
I've been working on my Nick Saban.
That was gold. Because he hates the NIL and the transfer.
Oh, he hates it
it.
all. Hates it.
And you're right. That's why he retired. He got the hell out of there. I told you. We've been telling you.
I mean, yes, but Miss Terry said enough is enough. You're 70-some years old. Time to be on TV.
You think that Miss Terry?
I think he's making more now than he was when he was coaching.
He probably. God, him and Dion are on every other commercial.
Him and Jason Kelsey, you can't get rid of them.
No. Jason and Travis.
Travis not as much now because Jason Kelsey.
Jason's everywhere.
And he's got a late night show coming.
Of course he does.
On ESPN.
Oh.
Starting in January.
Yeah, you can't get enough of him.
Welcome into the Boyle Theater. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a little while.
Been about a month.
Yeah, so that was a decent. Pat McAfee, it's not a great Pat McAfee. It's hard to do Pat McAfee, actually.
I'm not a fan.
Well, I know you're not. Did you? So I tried to help you out there too. Nick Saban, tell him to put a shirt on, act like an adult.
I love it. Classic.
Do you have an existential threat? Because I do.
Oh, do you? Okay, let's hear yours.
No,
first.
You have one. I'm looking over.
Yeah, I kind of have one.
No, you go first. Well, by the way, listeners, 48 listeners, the faithful 48, the backer inners was huge. I got more feedback back.
Yeah, but your feedback was all from your friends that back in, and they were showing you pictures of how they back in.
Now we've lost you.
Now we lost. Or my back? There I'm at back. What the hell?
What is going on?
Didn't even touch.
Did someone breathe?
That's what happened. But all your friends took pictures of them backing in, so it was like.
I know they're all backer inners.
Yeah, I do it too.
They're the problem. You guys are the problem. And then I took didn't I send you a video? I was at the grocery store and some small vehicle, like a 4-door sedan, is backing in at the grocery store.
There's no excuse for that. If you don't have a decent sized car, you got no business backing in.
It's unbelievable. Okay, so you go first.
Okay, this is one that I've brought it up before, but it's been about 2 or 3 years. And it's kind of similar to one I've had like 3 times, but the dogs at the airport, would you please stop?
Is that back in a bigger, like,
oh my God. I was this last go around, they were everywhere. And here's the problem. You know, they put the kibosh. Is that Yiddish?
No.
The kibosh. It sounds like
kibosh.
I think it's the kibosh. Is that Yiddish?
No.
It sounds Yiddish.
It does sound Yiddish. It could be Yiddish adjacent.
Yeah. It's slang Yiddish.
Happy Hanukkah, by the way. This is our Christmas
one. Hanukkah, I was looking at Hanukkah's not till after, doesn't start till the 26th.
Well, yeah, so the night before it starts.
So it starts Christmas night.
Christmas night, yeah.
Why is it so late? Because normally it's like the 14th or 12th. I mean, it's normally way earlier.
Because the committee
Why do you can't wait till after Christmas to start Hanukkah?
Dude, the Jews have the worst marketing department.
Was this like the college football playoff
Yes,
committee?
exactly.
You got
It's
a bunch
like
of Jews and rabbis.
Yes, it's
and
a committee. Yeah. We had him on the show.
I think the problem is there might be some half Jews on
we
the
had
committee.
Rabinowitz on the show.
We did.
Okay,
I think
your
so.
dogs at the
But
at the
now
airport?
they put the kibosh on the emotional support peacocks and all this stuff, and now everybody's got their dog as a service dog.
Yeah, but I thought
you know who should have a service dog? The blind people. Okay,
I
the
know,
blind. That's who should have a service.
I
dog.
thought we went through this already years ago. That remember the grocery store? You could go to the grocery store. It was like visiting a kennel.
Yeah, exactly.
And now we got through that, and then there are all the dogs. Remember the great story of Michael Wilbon? He's in first class, and the Great Dane takes a shit in first class.
Yes,
you remember
that's the problem. In the airport, there's dogs taking shits in the airport.
Really?
Oh yes. Are you kidding me?
You know what? We didn't know this because you weren't spending as much time. By the way, kids, we're brought to you by Alaska Airlines delays.
There's a lot of them.
What are
They're
you up to?
everywhere.
95K?
95. And I swear at the last probably 20 flights, I've been delayed every single flight.
And don't worry, kids. We're recording this December 6th. You've got more trips coming.
I got a couple more. I don't know. But yeah, so people know this is not no joke. People have service dogs that are Chihuahuas.
I know.
There's no service dog that's a Chihuahua. What is he going to do? Go find a rat?
You're right. This is a repeat existential threat.
Well, no, but this is more of the service dog aspect. It used to be the emotional support. And now they like I said, they banned it. So now everything's a service dog.
I have a real one.
Mine's not real.
Do you need more commentary than that?
I want you to tell me how you feel about it.
Leave your dogs. They're dogs.
Yeah, leave them at home.
Can I say a secret right now?
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't.
Do you take Archie everywhere? Do you take him to the airport?
No, because he pukes.
Yeah.
He's a puker. He's still puking.
And you got a good one today from him.
God, I'm going to have to sell that car.
You might.
Anyway, I'm not going to say what I'm going to say.
Was it the Barbie mobile or the other?
No, it was the luxury.
Too bad it
Subaru.
Wasn't the Barbie mobile he puked all over.
I don't know if that's better. I don't know which is worse. Puking a car from a dog or a human.
It's bad.
It's not good.
All right, what do
I
you
have
got?
an actual
threat, like yes. Mine's not an actual
one.
Well,
I don't know.
Okay. Right,
I have one that has been bothering me for a while. Again, just like the backer uppers, it's just been
the problem is not a lot bothers you. That's the problem.
That is true. But
a lot of things bother me. Just ask my wife.
Everything bothers you.
I know.
Everyone and everything.
Well, I think I told you, when I get a pet peeve, Mindy makes me get rid of another pet peeve, and that's very hard to do.
She's going to have to start charging you storage fees.
Exactly.
For your pet peeves. My pet peeves is the adjective, the competitor. Okay, we are overusing the threat here is the use of the word competitor for freaking everybody. She's a great competitor. She's a competitor. No, do you remember growing up? Everybody was characterized as a great competitor.
Well, if you actually were, I don't remember him throwing the term around loosely.
It's like generational talent. Everybody's a generational
talent. Or it's
talent.
like the word literally.
Yes. Maybe.
That gets thrown around with everything.
Well, the point is like, I'm sitting there watching everybody's, they're just such a competitor. They're playing in the highest league of the world in the NFL.
So of course they're a competitor.
Yes.
You can't, yeah.
It's overused. It's overplayed. Everybody's a competitor. I mean, if you have a sales rep who does this and does that,
they're competing. They're out competing.
He's just such a competitor. I don't know. He's trying to make money.
Yeah, it might not have to do with competing at all. I mean, it might just be padding his wallet.
First of all, let's just set the record straight, okay? Competitor. There's Michael Jordan in our lifetime. Now, it could be previous to our lifetime. Yeah. There could be people. It's Michael Jordan, and it's Caitlin Clark, and it might be Kobe Bryant.
Don't forget about TB12, Tom Brady. That's
TB12. Okay, I'll put him in there. Him in there. I
got him on my list. Throw Kobe Bryant.
I'm going to do a full analysis of Tom Brady, the analyst on television.
He's not as good as an analyst, obviously.
I have that on my list.
Okay, But yeah, I think you could probably throw Kobe Bryant in there.
I put Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
You know what? And then be done. Look, Shaq.
Yeah, that's it.
Shaq's not a great competitor.
No. But Charles is funny. I love him. But I wouldn't say he's the great competitor.
Yeah, when he played, he wasn't like, I don't know. I just think we throw the word competitor out just non-stop. Oh, they're okay.
From now on, you got to run that shit through us to find out if they're a competitor.
Yeah,
we'll give you a stamp of approval. It's going to be tough because there's like 5 people on the list.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They're a competitor. They're playing Division I college football. Yes, they're competing.
Yeah.
They're a competitor. Get an orange slice.
Everybody.
I don't know what to tell you.
It's just like you're right. It's just like the generational. Everybody's a generational talent.
Oh, we're going to talk about one later.
Oh, good.
I didn't even look at. We haven't traded lists. Usually, I get.
Oh yeah, you're right. Well, I copied one. I made you a copy
because usually I don't make a list. That's actually how this works.
That's usually you're right about that.
Listener, if you're not watching on the YouTube, I looked today. We had a massive YouTube viewership on our show last month.
Well, nobody watches us on YouTube.
No, it's perfect. 37.
37 on YouTube.
We're almost to the faithful 48.
Does anyone even know? I didn't even. Nobody knows we're on YouTube.
Well, that's not the point, is it?
No.
I'm telling you now, we're on YouTube.
Wow.
Okay.
Are we viral?
On ST.
Because I want to go viral.
SPN. Do you really though?
I did go viral once.
You did on Twitter.
Yes.
You got
I got tens of thousands of views.
Did you really?
Yeah, literally.
Was it tens of thousands?
Yeah.
Which one was that?
It was the one where it was like the refs were carrying carrying the balls, and they were all in Cal Bear bags and stuff. There's like 3 refs carrying the bags.
That's right.
It was like basically like a Kansas City Chief moment.
That's right. Okay, let's go into, we're 12 minutes. Is that the open?
Yeah, we can take a quick break and get some vittles.
God, nice job on the vittles tonight.
Thank you.
I tried.
It was it's the holiday season.
I know, but
when have a holiday podcast?
Well, that's exactly what I was going to ask you.
Oh my. We're kind of right in the middle of the season.
Well, you're gone until Christmas. Don't you show up like the day of?
I get back the day after Christmas, I think. I think we can sneak one in.
By the way, I'm Scott. Nice to meet you. Okay, we're going to take a pause then. We will be right back, and we're going to start with the National Football League.
This is Chip Morningwood, publisher of the Morningwood Sports Insider, and you're listening to the Scott and Tim Sports Show.
All right, we're back.
Back.
The National Football League. Last night, Thursday night football with
man.
Uncle Al.
Were you watching it?
I was.
Yep, likewise. By the way, Dan Campbell, love the guy to death. I think he might be, we always talk about who you going to pick if you're starting a franchise, what quarterback, blah, blah, blah. Well, how about what coach? If I'm starting a franchise, I think I'd take Dan Campbell.
I know, and he came in such like a clown with the knees break your knees or bite your knees or whatever the hell he said.
Yes. And then he started out with like 1 win or something. And luckily he didn't get fired because generally the owners don't give you any time anymore. You got to like produce in your first year. Historically, they get, Jimmy Johnson only won 1 game in his first season with the Cowboys.
I'm with you because as we've discussed before, right now, today, the last 2-3 years, there's really not that many great coaches in the NFL.
No, the coaching is like dying.
It's horrible.
No, it's all analytics. You don't even, what do you need a coach for?
It's terrible.
But speaking of analytics, he defied I hate the analytics, but he defied them on the opposite end.
You sent me the clip today, which I agree with. That was my take. That was a bad. I disagree with him going for it.
Oh, complete.
Whatever.
Here's why. He doesn't need to.
No.
He wins the game by kicking the field goal.
Exactly.
He's only going to give him about 30 some seconds left. And even if they come back, he kicks the field goal, they'll come back and they might have a chance at kicking a field goal to tie at best.
But if he wants to give the best likelihood, right, his job is to put the team in the best position to win a football game. Kick the goddamn field goal.
Yeah, the game's pretty much over.
I was just like, are you kidding me right now? Like, you're really, and then they're like, then I thought, of course, he's going to go just try and get him to jump off sides.
Yeah, and then
the guys in motion and even Kirk and Al were just like, I guess not.
Well, and keep in mind, this is why, and it worked for him, but it would have worked for him had he just kicked the field goal right at the to begin with.
But your point when we were texting, and you sent me the clip today. This might be fine and dandy during the regular season. You can't mess around like
no, that's
this.
why they didn't go to the Super Bowl last year, because they didn't kick 2 field goals and they wanted to go for it, and they lost by 3 points. And he left 6 points. He left 2 field goals off the board.
Yep.
And he lost the Dallas game by like going for 2 and like not kicking a field goal. He lost. So he would have got the first round bye last year as well. I think he would have had a first round bye last year if he would have just played normal.
I think you're right.
Because he lost they lost to the Cowboys and he should have won.
He is really good in the field of coaches, but his biggest problem, which could be another problem, is his ego.
Yeah,
which he's not alone in that. But these guys think that we can get a yard. I mean, we're going to talk about the Seahawks here in a second. I mean, they literally can't get a yard.
No, they actually can't.
They're incapable of getting 1 yard or even
they
half
can get
a yard.
12 and 15 yards.
Yes.
But anyway, we're getting off topic.
I've got a good stat for you.
So yeah, I can't wait. But the problem is again, the analytics. He's going the other way, and by the way, he barely got that. Goff went down, basically tripped and goes down on his knee. And then there's a whole bunch of people saying, well, technically he's down because he took a knee. And if
he wasn't touched.
No, but he took a knee. But when you take a knee, like at the end of the game,
right?
If the quarterback backs up and takes a knee, he's down because he's like giving himself up. But this situation, technically, he wasn't giving himself up. So there was a whole bunch of back and forth going, no, he's actually down when he did that.
See, this also, Dan Campbell, we love you. Everybody love you. You know, you're the people's coach. Stop it. Use your brain. Stop being an idiot.
Well, he's not using the analytics.
No,
so
which
I'll give him that.
I do. I
commend him for that.
And I saw his post game, and he's like, I didn't want to give them the ball back. I get that, but don't be an idiot.
Well, the other point is Jordan Love is not Tom Brady, and he's not Patrick Mahomes.
Emmanuel Acho said that. That was a good point.
He's not going to go. The odds of him going down and with no timeouts and like 30 seconds left doing something is very remote.
Everyone was scoring at will towards the end of that second half of that game. And Green Bay showed up a lot better than I thought
they did.
They played
that was a tight game.
And Detroit's defense is completely beat up. I mean, our boy Jack Campbell, he's playing with like a bum hand. He had that big hit.
He had a huge hit, and he almost had a huge sack.
He did.
Too.
He just missed it. He came in a little too hot. But so Dan Campbell, it's a razor's edge with him. I'm just concerned because we all want. I think the whole country wants Detroit.
Everybody wants Detroit in the Super Bowl.
But he's gonna screw himself here.
He is. He's gonna do. He's gonna be playing like Philadelphia or something. He's not gonna be able to get away with that stuff. Speaking of which,
yes,
Minnesota.
Is that a professional transition you just did? Speaking of which,
Philadelphia is also right there with like 10-2.
Right there.
Minnesota's 10-2 and they're a wild card
with small hands Darnold.
With Darnold, they're 10-2.
How is that?
Remember, he was my sleeper pick like 3 years ago.
No, he wasn't.
Yes,
really?
he was.
Sam Darnold was?
Yes, he was.
How is
I'm
that?
a little late for that, but how is what?
How are they 10-2?
I know. No idea.
Well, they have a shitty conference, number one, other than Detroit. I guess Green Bay, maybe.
No, they're pretty stacked. Green Bay,
I guess.
Green Bay's tough.
How is this possible?
No idea.
Okay. Wow.
All right.
What was that?
You need to take another break. You're like sitting there with an empty beer going, I got to get up and get one.
No, we can get up and get one. That's fine. No, we don't need to take a break.
Okay.
We talked about that. You want to talk again? Are we going to cover these before we talk about the Seahawks?
Sure.
Okay.
Or you can go right to the Seahawks. It's up to you. You're the host.
Am I though?
I don't know.
No, I don't think
I'm
so.
hosting, but you're the host.
Yeah, anyway. Let's talk. Let's get this out of the way.
Okay.
Because it's gonna. I mean, the Seahawks are kind of a topic, but not really that exciting. I don't have a lot there. Anyway, they won. I didn't see the train wreck. Thank God. I was otherwise occupied.
Okay, so we're on the Seahawks, is what you're saying.
Let's just do the Seahawks.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, you're out doing a race. You missed the best game to miss. It was horrible.
I know.
I was like so irritated. It was like they fumbled 3 times on the kickoff. 2 of them they lost. One of them they actually recovered, but they like 3 times in a row they fumbled the kickoff. And then they let a 100-yard kick return. They let that go.
But the funny thing is they haven't done this all year. Like special teams has not been, I don't remember going, oh my God, our special teams is horrible.
No, it just kind of was out of, and then Dixon gets hurt. He's out, and I think he's out for this game, that's coming game too. No, what are they going to do? They're going to play. Well, Dan Campbell would be happy.
He'd be great. He doesn't even need a punter.
Yeah.
He's like, let's get that roster spot to somebody else.
Totally. So yeah, and then they missed an extra point, I think. So their special teams was just god awful.
So you said they are in first place again. They're 7-5. They lead the NFC West. I mean, even if they lose Sunday against the Cardinals, they're still fine.
They're still like tied for. I think they'll still be tied for first. Yeah.
But the other problem, I mean, I'm glad I didn't see the win. I mean, it was an ugly win. Nobody knows actually how they won.
Well, Leonard Williams got like a 100-yard kickoff return.
Where has he been? All of a sudden,
I know. All of a sudden, he was like
game
grabbing
wrecker.
Sacks and batting down passes, blocked a field goal.
Is this the Mike McDonald effect?
No idea.
Now, I want to give Mike McDonald some props.
Okay, let's hear it.
He's the first year. I don't have expectations. We've talked about this before. But when they lost 3 in a row and they went into the bye, because you are never home ever, and we do once every 5 years a podcast. Not bitter at all.
No, not at all. I can tell. You're taking it well.
I was thinking to myself, because again, you're not here. I'm thinking to myself, and no one cares at my house. So I'm thinking to myself, literally to myself. Have I mentioned that I'm talking to myself?
Well, because I'm not here.
Because you're not there.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, young buck. Okay, young coach. Let's see what you're made of. Let's see how, if you're really a CEO, if you're a head coach, okay, in the National Football League, 1 of 32, let's see what chutzpah you got in you. What moxie is there coming off 3 losses, bad losses, right? Your defense sucks. Your Geno is like Jekyll and Hyde. You don't know whether you're getting the worst or the best. Let's see how you react. And to his credit, he figured out, and I thought he was just he's so monotone in he's just so dead. Like he's a dead chicken. There's just,
you don't know if he's mad or happy.
And I'm like, okay, the vibe, what's the culture? What's the vibe?
He's a little like Bill Belichick. You never know if he's really mad or
yeah. So to his credit, to land the plane, I was very impressed how they came back. Their defense, I was looking at the stats. Everybody's excited about the defense, as they should, since we've had horrible defense here for 10 years. They're better.
Well, it's Jekyll and Hyde.
They're still the middle of the pack. Let's not get crazy here. Okay?
It's not the 2013 Seahawks.
No, but it is exciting because they're actually creating turnovers. They're on the plus side of turnovers. We haven't had that for 5 years, 7 years. I don't know how long.
Agree.
Speaking of that, is Pete Carroll going to get the Chicago Bears
Can you
job?
believe that? How about just retire, Pete? You were the oldest coach in the NFL like 5 years ago. Well, you were the oldest coach.
Everybody's just exhaled because they were so stressed. Thank God Urban Meyer, the scumbag of the earth, said he's not. He announced today he doesn't want to coach again.
Yeah, because he wants to be with his family.
Yeah, at a bar, filling up some what
college co-ed.
But anyway. So don't you think that's a fair props to Mike McDonald? I'm not saying he's going to be good. We don't really know yet.
Again, not only is it his first year with the Seahawks, it's his first year ever being a head coach of anything. He never even coached he wasn't even a head coach in high school.
So I think that made me feel good.
Yeah, I'm good. I'd give him right now a B.
I think that's fair. Yeah. That's fine. Okay. Let's talk about the offense. Okay, and let's talk about Geno Smith. Okay? Do you know that Geno Smith, how do you think he does in the red zone?
Oh, God, it's bad. It's horrible. It's like, aren't we like worst in the NFL?
If I told you, if you didn't see my sheet, did you already see my sheet?
No, I didn't.
Okay, how many interceptions do you think he has this year
Well, I have
in the red zone.
in the red zone. Well, he's got 12 interceptions total.
Okay, well,
I'll bet you 4 of those are in the red zone.
You know what? If I had a prize, you win. Ding, ding, ding.
Thank you.
And guess who he's tied with the most interceptions in the red zone in the entire football
Probably
league?
Patrick Mahomes.
Sam Small Hands Darnold.
No, except Sam Darnold's 10-2.
He is, and he has way more touchdowns.
Yes.
But you know what? Statistically, it's weird, but they're about the same.
Well,
Their completed percentage. Go ahead.
Geno's 13 TDs to 12 interceptions. That's not good.
That's Jameis Winston.
Good. Yeah.
That is a Jameis Winston era right there.
Completely.
Yeah, he's got 136 touchdowns and 105 interception in his NFL career.
Jameis does? That does not surprise me.
Which, to be fair,
I'm actually surprised it's not more interceptions.
Wait, in his defense, he got his cataracts. He got his
did.
eye
He can
done
see now.
after he can see.
Otherwise, it'd be like way more.
I don't know. We can talk MVP, but he is leading the charge of entertainment.
Oh, yeah. He's hilarious.
He is hilarious.
He was like that on Hard Knocks years ago.
Yes. He's a funny guy.
He's got a lot of leadership qualities, actually.
He does. Actually, people like him. He's likable. Unlike you. Okay, go ahead. But isn't that amazing? Four interceptions in the red zone. So the point here is, Geno, stay out of the red zone.
Well, and what you also missed the other day is the Seahawks had like 8 chances from like 1st and goal from like the 2 or 3 yard line. They couldn't get it in over. They kept getting like a penalty the other team was getting a penalty. So we get first down again.
Yeah.
We couldn't get it in to save our lives. And we'd come out with nothing.
So that leads us into Ryan Grubb, the offensive coordinator, the former University of Washington superstar. Oh, I can see by your face. And if you're not watching on the YouTube, Tim you're not happy, and he's on the hot seat. He's taking a lot of shit.
He should. Well, just, and I've said this so many times, that you watch Detroit last night and you see all the stuff they're doing and the creativity, and we're back. It looks like the Seahawks look like they have for the last 10 years. Ryan Grubb, I thought he was this, real young, innovative offensive guy. Their offense does not look innovative.
Okay. I'm not disagreeing with you. At the same,
that's a rarity.
Well, it's coming soon.
You're getting there.
Coming soon to ears near you. I'm saying, okay, he's new as well, whatever. We're week 14 or whatever we're in, right? But the thing is, he doesn't have an offensive line. Does that have anything to do with it? This is more of a question than an argument against. I'm not pushing back here. I don't disagree with you. I'm saying, how much of the playbook can he actually put in?
Well, it's funny you say that they don't have an offensive line. Geno was at one point was leading the NFL in yards. Right now, he's like yards per game. He's like second.
Well, I have it pulled up in front of us right now. They're 22.7. They average 22.7 points a game. That's literally the middle of the pack.
But I'm talking Geno Smith in yards.
Okay,
you're talking points.
Well,
Geno, my point is, if they don't have an offensive line, how's he been pretty much leading the NFL in passing?
Okay. And there's other.
It's strange. I'm not saying, I'm not arguing one way or another. It's just strange.
I know. So this is the other thing that I listened to and broke down. If you take the Minnesota Vikings, which are 10-2, to your point, right? And we talk about Geno and Small Hands Arnold, which I'm not really sure why he's doing as well as he's doing. I can't explain it. They don't have a great offensive line either, and they've been banged up. So he scored way more touchdowns, and his completion percentage is about the same. I think the interceptions are other than the red zone, or he has a little less. It's about the same. So I know I'm not trying to give Grubb a pass here. It's curious, why the hell isn't he doing the shit he did?
Well, that's the $1 million question.
Did he forget how to fucking coach?
What happened to all this innovation? And he comes to the Seahawks. It's like the Seahawks say, well, when you come to Seattle, you got to be vanilla.
But the other thing is, what does Mike McDonald want? He is a defensive guy. I mean, half of me thinks he barely even pays attention to the offense.
He may not.
I don't think he does. I think he goes to all the defensive room. Yeah. What does he want from Grubb? He handpicked him.
Well, remember Pete Carroll for years and years. I'm convinced this, and I'll go to my grave with it. I don't think Pete Carroll did not want a real innovative offense.
I agree.
Every offensive coordinator he had was almost exactly the same. He wanted everything toned down. He didn't like big leads or big swings. He wanted the game to be within like 3 points.
I'm just saying, Geno Smith is, I don't know. He's part of it. He holds on to the ball too long.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because he's got 40 sacks. Only like one other player's got more sacks than him, and it might be like Caleb Williams or something. He's been sacked 40 times already.
Yeah. I'm saying he's got Russell Wilson-itis. He's got
he does.
FFR-itis.
He takes those big third down sacks when they're in field goal range.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, you're at the 45-yard line.
And here's my other thing. I just want to be clear. I'm not defending Ryan Grubb to the extent I agree it's been vanilla. The other thing I think about is how many times, we don't know this, right, for sure. There's no stat for this. Maybe there is. I don't know. How many times does Ryan Grubb make a call, okay? They go out there, Geno audibles off the call.
Well, probably a lot, because there's a lot of times when that play clock's down to like a half a second.
Exactly. So then I'm sitting there going, okay, are we over indexed on giving Grubb shit because Geno, number one, is the most sacked. He has 12 fucking interceptions of the year. He can't throw the ball inside the red zone.
Well, maybe they shouldn't let him audible.
And that's exactly right. And he's changing calls.
Yeah, that shouldn't be happening.
I don't know. I mean, that's the biggest question, but you're just
it seems like that's
so.
happening.
So did Ryan Grubb, did he go through a personality change from University of Washington? I mean, it's like 10 minutes from there to Renton. I mean, did he get in a bus and like actually morph into somebody else?
Wonderful question.
Don't you think he's like, hey, guys, I want to do this, and then he throw the ball to JSN 7,000 times?
I kind of like that.
I do too.
But you know who doesn't get the ball is freaking DK.
No, I know. But again, the highlights I watched and the recaps I listened to on their horrific offensive series at the Jets game, there should have been 2 touchdowns that Geno just didn't throw a good ball.
Correct. Yeah.
It was an easy touchdown, right?
Yeah. But what's funny is he's pretty accurate normally.
I know.
He's usually got like one of the highest percentage rates. Of
last year,
completion.
he almost was top 5 in that.
Well, the year before, I think he set an all-time Seahawk record.
Okay, let's get out of this segment on this note. Okay, my question to you: do you pay Geno Smith $55 million a year?
Hell no.
Oh, hell to the no.
No, not even. I mean, do you think so?
No.
He's not. I mean, he's a $25 million quarterback. Which seems like a lot, but that's kind of like middle of the road.
But
forget the 25. He's middle of the road pay.
Okay. If you were the general manager, if you were Johnny Schneider, what would you do next year at the quarterback position?
I'd either try to trade for somebody, or I would, because when's his contract up? The end of the year.
End of the year.
Yeah. I'd probably try to pay him. I'd pay him what I think he's worth, which is like $25 million.
Well, he's got an opt-out, I should say. His contract isn't up. So if they keep him, if they extend him, it's a $38 million cap hit.
Oh, I don't think you can do that.
I agree. I don't think he should be
$38 million.
Yeah. So
it's just like monopoly money now.
But here's my point, Tim. At this point, whatever happens this year, whether they make the playoffs or don't make the playoffs, it's because the division sucks this year. The NFC West is terrible, right?
Correct.
So super duper timing's everything. Get rid of him. Cut his ass. Go get a quarterback from college. Draft a quarterback. Doesn't have to be whatever second round. Go find a diamond, Johnny Schneider. That's apparently what you're good at, supposedly.
Yeah, well, the last few years, the diamonds in the rough have been in the third, fourth, fifth.
Yes.
Look at Brock Purdy.
And you know what they cost?
He's going to break the bank.
They cost nothing.
Zero.
And that's when you could
Brock Purdy couldn't even afford to live in San Francisco.
Yeah, by the way, thanks for bringing up the Hall of Famer.
First ballot.
God, he's getting a lot of shit. All of a sudden, he's horrible again. He can't.
His teammates are all gone. Christian McCaffrey can't come into a game without breaking his leg or something. Jesus, talk about China doll. Like China doll. Is that like China the country or China the glass?
It's like a glass of fine porcelain fragile orchid flower.
God, good Lord! Not to mention he was my first fantasy.
Well,
so I'm not bitter.
No, same with me on my work league.
Yeah. There's like millions of people that are pissed.
Oh my God. But I love the shit that Brock Purdy's getting because he plays in the snow and all of a sudden he's got nobody. His offensive line now, I mean, it's just comical. I'm not saying he's fun to watch.
That wasn't even, I didn't even know what to call that. It was like a blizzard.
It was. You loved it.
I did. I love games like that. It was historic. But he's playing against Josh Allen and the Bills, who like they know how to that's their home stadium.
So back to Geno Smith, and we gotta take a break. But I mean, if they freaking keep this guy and they even extend him at 38, he wants 55, and he's gonna come to you with all his stats, and he's gonna say, "I deserve." I'm one. The sad part is, if you look at the 32 starting quarterbacks in the NFL, he's probably top 10.
Okay, hang on. Well, let's slow your roll there.
Top 15.
Okay, let me just say something. His stats are 13 TDs, 12 interceptions, and 40 sacks. What would, if I just gave you those stats, you'd say, "Ooh, that's a bad quarterback."
I'd say, is that Sam Darnold?
You'd say, "Is that Derek Carr?"
Is that Derek?
Ooh.
Don't bring up my boy Carr.
Oh, sorry. Too soon?
I think that's proven out. I think I got that one.
Apparently, you might be right.
I think I might be right on Derek freaking Carr.
Well, you know what's funny about all those stats, about him being like the losingest quarterback? He beat out his brother. That's hilarious. Hilarious.
That is hysterical. You're absolutely right. He's barely on the NFL Network. His brother is.
So 13 TDs, 12 interceptions. Keep in mind, 4 of those are in the red zone and 40 sacks. That's not a good quarterback.
I know.
Those are not good stats.
I'm okay. Like, what makes you feel better? Like a rookie quarterback making mistakes, but he's a rookie, or like a 47-year veteran who literally can't complete a pass, and then he throws the greatest pass of all time?
You're asking me a tough question because you know how I feel about rookie quarterbacks. I think they need time to develop.
I know. I'm saying like young quarterback.
Yeah,
let's say, second year. Somebody
I'd rather
you're going to stick with.
I'd rather see the young quarterback have these stats than a 47-year-old Geno Smith.
Okay, so I guess the other thing for you is, what do you want? Would you rather? Do you care if we do you want to start to kind of rebuild the offense, or do you want to what's more important to you? Do you think you should take a step back to go step forward, or what?
I don't know. I think first you go after like a free agent quarterback. You draft a quarterback.
I mean, JJ McCarthy might not be available.
Ooh, that's right. I forgot about him. He should be the starter. He was projected to be the starter.
Now, if we can get Bo Nix.
Oh, dude, tell me about it.
Didn't you bet on him?
I did. He's my rookie of the year.
He could win.
He very well could.
You're in good shape there.
I like
Okay, we got to take a break.
All right, let's take a break.
All right, we'll be back with more NFL, actually, when we come back.
If you weren't listening the last time these guys got together, you've got to be kidding me.
All right, we're back with the National Football League. There's still so much to talk about.
You sound so excited about it.
I'm very excited. I'm Mike McDonald right now, head coach. I don't have any other
You're the
tone.
old Joe Buck and Troy Aikman.
Joe Buck. I'm, who else?
What'd you say? What'd you call him? Troy, I don't have a pulse, Aikman?
Hold on, let me do Brock Heward. I'm really excited right now.
Yeah, Brock's pretty monotone.
Okay. So, a lot going on in the National Football League.
Absolutely. Joey Burrow.
Joey B, what is going on with the Bengals?
Speaking of like stats, here's some very weird stats.
That's a tragedy what's going on there.
He is like, his stats are absolutely off the charts, and they're 4-8. His stats are so good. There's only been he has 30 touchdowns with 5 interceptions. That's only happened.
Don't put your hand on the table.
Whoops. I need the rabbit ears with the tinfoil and the.
Anyway,
his stats are so good. There's only 4 quarterbacks in history that have had 30 touchdowns and 5 interceptions through this many games. Yeah, and it's like Tom Brady, Steve Young, and Aaron Rodgers or something like that. It's
there's some stat, and I'm going to butcher it, but something like they've scored 33 points in more games or something and lost.
Yeah,
they have more losses than he.
It's incredible. He's having a career year, and they're 4-8.
So don't bitch about our defense. Is that your point?
Correct.
Joey B, I feel bad for Joey B, and he's been healthy.
Yeah, he's tearing it
healthy.
up.
Okay.
He literally is putting up MVP numbers and they're 4-8.
Okay, let's go talk about the hit on Trevor Lawrence.
Oh yeah, please.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You're due to start. You're due to like take over a topic.
Okay, so is that a shot? I can't decide if that was a shot. So
It was a very mild mannered shot.
I didn't want. I was. Yeah, I don't think I couldn't watch the game. Right, I wasn't watching Red Zone. I've seen the clip a bunch of times, slowing it down, whatever. It looked like a nasty hit.
Oh,
there's
time.
Controversy whether this kid Al Dashir or something. Whether he's a repeat.
Well, there's no controversy.
He is.
This is how he plays.
Yeah,
he's got countless. There's a whole video complication of him doing stuff like this. He had one where he was grabbing Brady by the throat, like literally choking him.
Well, interesting that you bring up Brady. Okay.
Yeah, Brady probably says, "Oh, that's all football."
This is what he said right here.
There's an aspect to me that I think the quarterbacks need to take better care of themselves. I see Josh Allen running a lot. I see Lamar Jackson running. And when you do that, I don't think the onus of protecting an offensive quarterback who's running should be on a defensive player. I don't think that's really fair to the defense.
I don't disagree with him, but the point where I do disagree with him is, what's his name? Shazier.
Yeah.
He had plenty of time to not make that hit. I mean, if you look at where Burrow starts sliding and where he is, they're like 7-8 yards apart. Or Trevor Lawrence, yeah.
Generational.
And he's got a reputation of doing this. So I 3 games, he should have got 4 or 5, I think.
Well, now Trevor Lawrence is out for the rest of the year.
Is he out for because
he's out for the rest of the
he
year.
ended up hurting his shoulder and got like a concussion, and he doesn't even know who he is anymore. So he thinks he's Joey Burrow.
He must. I wonder if he can still wash all that hair.
It's gonna be tough. Not with that shoulder. It's gonna be tough.
But I agree. See, I don't have any patience for that kind of shit. But that's me. I don't have, when we see targeting in college and we see targeting in the NFL, I don't have any patience for it. There's no reason for it. You sent me a great clip of the University of Iowa, great Cooper DeJean.
Yeah.
The great tackle he had in that game. He's a Philadelphia Eagles now, right?
Yeah,
in that last game. That's how we used to tackle. That's how tackling was actually taught. You lower your head, you put it to the left of the guy, you put your shoulder down, and you wrap them up.
Correct.
I don't know what happened to that. We watched a little international rugby recently. You watch those guys tackle. That's how they tackle.
Oh, completely.
It's remarkable.
Yeah, because they don't want to get hurt.
Yeah, it's remarkable to me. So I'm on this guy. I think the 4 or 5. I'm with you on that. Tom Brady. I mean, okay.
Well, Brady, if you go back to his beginning, like his early career, he took some vicious hits.
Sure, because he didn't know any better.
Yeah,
and he wasn't Tom Brady yet.
Correct. That's a good point.
But then we all know
they changed the rules. You weren't allowed to hit him.
Well, then the guy, he would, you know how pissed off he would be if anybody even came close to him when he was sliding.
Oh yeah. Well, and he'd complain and he'd get the call.
I love the fact. It's just precious, Tom, that you're now defending the defensive guy.
In fairness, Brady has been doing that for the last few years. He's always been saying it's up to the offensive guy to protect themselves. He's been saying that
also,
for a long
if you
time.
got a quarterback coming out and you know you're not going balls out, you know you got to just he's going to go down. You got to touch him.
He didn't even need to touch him. You don't even need to touch him because once he starts to slide, nobody needs to touch him. He's giving himself up.
Now Josh Allen's a different cat. Like you'd have to go after him because he doesn't slide. He's not a slider.
Well, but the problem is Lawrence was sliding, and
I know.
Yeah.
So we agree on that.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Tom Brady and his inability to actually be really like the A-team #1 analyst on Fox?
Yeah, he's struggling.
I mean, Is he better than his first day out? Yes. He was.
I think he's getting better every
He
game.
is getting better, but here's what just drives me batshit crazy. Number one, he had 9 months to practice with Kevin Burkhardt. 9 months. Okay. He's getting $37 million per year to do this job, which lasts, just FYI, it lasts 6 months, maybe. It's a 6 month gig.
Yeah.
Okay. $37 million a year. Okay. He had all kinds of time to practice. He can call anybody he wants.
Well, he didn't make shit playing football. He was like the most underpaid guy ever.
We all feel terrible for
They
him.
do. Yes. Everybody feels
And
bad.
now I'm sure Giselle, but she's got the Taekwondo guy now, so she doesn't need any money.
I think it's Brazilian jiu-jitsu is what he's into. And she's pregnant.
Yes.
She's
You
pregnant.
blew me away last time we recorded. That stopped me in my tracks. My point is, this is what I want from Tom Brady. There's a play or there's a play coming up. I don't want him to go, he's just so goddamn vanilla. It's like, Tom, what are you thinking? Why did you audible? Oh, well, I listened to him last time. Well, then he went up, and when they say a kill, that means they're going to kill. When they go in the huddle, they're going to 2 plays. Okay, why? What is the chatter in the huddle, Tom? What are you talking about? What are the linemen saying when you go in? Tell me what it's like to be an NFL quarterback. That's what I want to hear.
Well, and he should know better than anybody. He was so in tune to everything.
Yes.
He was in tune to the defenses, the offenses. He was in tune to everything, the feel of the game. He should know. The producers, these are the best in the world at this. And so I would imagine that the producers are also frustrated with him. But they can't, it's Tom Brady, so they can't give him any shit. Well, the only thing I would say is the best color guy ever was John Madden.
I agree. You know why?
John Madden struggled his first year.
Yeah, but he wasn't on the A team, and he wasn't paid $37 million.
Either way,
he practiced with the lower crews.
But those things are completely irrelevant. He still struggled his first year.
I don't disagree.
Doesn't matter if he was on the A team or the B team.
Romo was a unicorn. He was good right away.
Yeah.
Okay. But here's my point, and here's my note. If I'm producing Tom Brady, it's called insights. We need insights. You did this for 20 years. I need some goddamn insight.
I think the problem there is people are afraid to tell Tom Brady what to do.
I agree with that 100%. Yeah. You know what? I also sit there and feel, again, I mean, we do it on a small level, but being a play-by-play, I literally am like, my skin is crawling for Kevin Burkhardt because Kevin Burkhardt, the play-by-play, is teeing him up like 87,000 times a game to get something out of this freaking vanilla piece of shit. And he won't do it.
Yeah. I don't disagree.
It's like, I get so annoyed listening to him. He's better.
And they had Greg Olsen too. And Greg Olsen is awesome.
And he wasn't great at first. Okay.
See, there you go.
Right. I don't expect him to be great at first.
Greg Olsen was pretty awkward his first.
He was
at least half a season.
I'm totally with you. And it's unfair. Okay. I will recognize that it's unfair to expect Tom Brady to be better than he was, but he's got $37 million a year.
But that really doesn't matter. I mean,
it should.
Well, he's only as good as he's going to be.
He's Tom Brady.
You could be paying him $50 million. He's still going to be what he is.
I just need an insight. That's all I need. Anyway, I can imagine the production meetings just like, Jesus, this guy, is there something in there? Because I know there's something in there. I think he has the ability. I think he's got the potential to be awesome. It's just anyway,
you got to pull it out of him.
Okay. Ooh, wow. That took a lot.
All right. You gonna be okay?
Would you start your Kansas City Chief conspiracy theory, please? Because
I'm a little. I gotta tell you,
every freaking game, this guy over here texts me, sends me 700 clips. It's like the shooting of JFK with you.
Okay, I'm sorry, but so is like millions of other people are in the same boat. There's all memes everywhere on the internet. You can't go 30 seconds on the internet without finding a meme about the refs in Kansas City. It is ridiculous. The Raider game, they literally called a false start.
The first down was crazy.
With the first down.
Yeah, they Oakland Las Vegas had a first down.
Correct. And they didn't give it to him, and then they didn't get it on like fourth down.
Yeah.
I'm
The
talking
spot
about
was nuts.
it was terrible.
Sorry, go ahead.
But at the end of the game, there was a false start. There was a false start at the end of the game.
Right.
The refs are coming in, signaling false start, and then they decide to, and the Raiders end up fumbling it because of the snap or whatever.
Yes.
But it was a false start. It should be just a 5-yard penalty.
I mean, just to be fair, Minshew would have never fumbled.
No, God, no. He doesn't fumble. But
the
then the refs powwow, and they're like, oh, yeah, that wasn't a false start. That was like an illegal procedure.
For an hour. They powwowed for an hour.
And then they just say, okay, Kansas City, it's your ball, game over. That was ridiculous.
And
you see why everybody's saying
and
this?
even Jim Nance, wasn't it Jim Nance and Tony Romo?
I think
was
it
on
was.
Thanksgiving,
Yeah,
I
it
believe.
was.
They were even just like, what is going on? Yeah.
Or were they doing the Pittsburgh game?
I can't remember.
I
can't remember. It might have been Joe, and I don't remember. Anyway, I agree with
Chicago game is what I meant.
There's weird shit going on.
Yeah, they are getting the calls. There's no that part is undisputed.
Okay. Are they generating? Is it because they're so good they're getting the calls? Is it like Jordan and the Bulls in the 90s? They got a lot of calls.
Jordan got the crap kicked out of him in the late 80s
I'm
and
talking
90s.
about the 90s when they won 6.
That's because they were better than everybody.
Well, okay. Is that the case with Kansas City?
I don't know. Clearly no, because Kansas City is like the worst 11-1 team in the history of football. They're barely beating the worst teams in football.
That's fine, Tim, but are you going to be shocked if they're in the Super Bowl and they win another one and three-peat?
I actually will this year.
Really? When Travis Kelce comes on afterwards and says, nobody believed
in us. Yeah, nobody thought we could do this.
You know what? I'm going to be like, yeah, Tim Boyle didn't believe in you.
They're going to be the favorite all year. Nobody believed in us.
Well,
yeah. No, I don't know. I can't. Right now, Buffalo looks. I mean, if you look at point differential,
Buffalo, they always run out of gas.
They beat them already this year.
That they did last year in the regular season, and they lost to them in the playoffs.
Kansas City's got the third best point differential in their division. Did you know that?
No, but
third best in their division.
So what does that mean?
They're plus 54 for an 11-1 team. There's never been.
Oh, right.
They're only plus 54.
That's because they win by like 1 point.
They
every
do,
year,
and they're beating shitty teams. Detroit's got a plus minus differential of 183.
Okay, so the numbers should work out that this will catch up with them.
That's
just like it'll catch up with Dan Campbell going for it on fourth down, right?
It did, yeah.
It should catch up with them.
In theory, yeah, I think it will.
But
Kansas City.
But it's Patrick Mahomes, dude.
And he's not having that great of a year.
But he knows how to win.
He does. I'll give him that. Somehow at the end of these games, they get every call imaginable. But I'm telling you, it's going to catch up.
Frank Capo is not happy with you.
Well, it's nothing personal.
Well, I know. Okay. Is there any other National Football League stuff? I mean, it's coming down to the Ravens were supposed to be the best. Now they're kind of falling back. Philadelphia. Then God forbid, I know what everybody wants us to talk about is fake fat Russ and how great he is as the Steelers. It sickens our stomachs.
It does. It doesn't mean we were still correct all those years.
I agree. Yeah. And you know what? If only Mike Tomlin was the Seahawks coach all those years.
Exactly. Mike Tomlin's actually the reason he's doing good. Part of the reason he was doing so shitty is because of his own ego and everything. And Mike Tomlin isn't letting that happen.
Now, according to Rob Milliken, who was supposed to join us on this show live from Dallas at the Big 12 Championship, but he's probably stumbling around. His thing, he's told me yesterday, okay, that Russ is not doing all the weird bullshit that he used to do.
Yeah,
he's changed.
Mike Tomlin isn't going to put up with that.
Do you think that's true?
Hell yes.
He did a video with Sierra on a bridge.
When?
This is like 3 weeks ago.
Well, you just got done saying he's not doing all those things.
No, Rob is claiming that. Rob's a lifetime Steelers fan.
On the field and all. I mean, okay, he did one video.
Is he practicing? Is he visualizing before? Is he playing without the team before?
He's doing
Okay.
knee lifts for 19 hours on the plane.
Here's my question about FFR. Do any Steelers really like him?
I doubt it.
He does the little high five down the line.
I think he's at a huge ego check. I mean, keep in mind the Steelers he's playing for free for the Steelers.
Yes.
Well, he's getting paid, but
He's
the
getting
Steelers
$1
aren't
million.
paying. Yeah. The Steelers aren't paying anything for him. I think Brock Purdy's making more for.
Well, not quite. Let's not be too generous here. Let's fact check, okay?
It's close.
Let's have some integrity on this program.
Since when?
Never. Okay. God, FFR tearing it up. Will he come back to reality? See, I just believe, and Mike Tomlin, we're both huge Mike Tomlin fans. I mean, this was a Steelers podcast for about 6 months.
It was.
Shout out Mike Fowler. Anyway, not Mike Fowler. Jesus. Oh, my God. I'm
Good
having
job.
a moment.
And they're going to hear this. You're going to have to edit that.
Mike Factor. Anyway, FFR, I'm rooting against you. I love Mike Tomlin. This is a terrible place for us to be.
I know it's really tough.
And I think time will tell.
And the Steelers already guaranteed a winning record again.
I know.
It's like his 17th in a row or something.
I am going to stay that it's going to prove out that FFR is who he is.
I agree. 100% agree.
Okay.
I'd be surprised if they're get out of the first round of the playoffs.
I need a beer, so let's take a break. Because you know what we got to talk about next? I got to ramp myself up. I got to really reload on the vittles because we're going to talk college football.
Sweet.
Hi, this is Diana from Cebu City, Philippines, and I'm listening to Scott and Tim's Sports Show.
Feeling better now.
This is for producer Mark, who's not here. Unbelievable.
Are we on? We're not recording.
Yeah, I'm recording.
Oh, we're recording? Oh, geez.
This is 2 times.
Come
He's
on.
not here. We only
Good
record once
Lord.
a month, and producer Mark, get fired.
He's going to be no, he can't be fired. He's not getting off that easy.
I know, he's not.
Okay, if we're back on, I got a little trivia question for you.
Is that okay? Are you stealing from bonus time?
What 2 quarterbacks lead the nation in touchdowns?
What league are we talking about?
College.
What 2 quarterbacks lead the nation in touchdowns? Shador Sanders, Cam Ward?
Wrong. We're talking total touchdowns. It would be John Mateer and Cam Ward.
Johnny Mateer.
And what else do they have in common? Both Cougar produced quarterbacks are leading the nation in touchdowns. And we're probably going to lose Boyle. We lost Cam Ward last year. We're probably losing Mateer this coming year.
Probably.
There's rumors he's already entered the transfer portal. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Which I still.
No, we're not talking about that right now. We're not going there yet. We're going to talk the college football playoffs.
Playoffs.
Which I think I pulled up.
Okay, I'm going to let you kick that down the road a little bit.
No, we're kicking that down.
And of course
we might even take another break before we talk about that.
It doesn't suit your argument very well.
The faithful 48, you have no idea the abuse, the absolute bullying I have been I don't know. What have I been? I've been you guys, Mark and you have absolutely just tortured
That's
me.
because if I made some crazy statement like Jim Zorn's the best quarterback of all time, then I got to be subject to the abuse. And just like you do with your crazy NIL and transfer portal is the best thing ever for the game.
Subjects!
No, it's the same subject.
No, it's not. You can't.
It's totally the same.
Okay, just
okay. We'll kick it down there. I'll let you kick it down the road.
Put a pin in it for a second. Let's talk let's talk the college football playoffs. I have it up in front of us.
Well, Boise State apparently is going to be there. They're up 21-0
as
right
we talk, right?
And we'll get to the Heisman Trophy too.
Well, we're going to get to the Heisman Trophy. Can I share the screen? Sure, I can. Anyway, let's just look at the latest college football playoffs. Okay, right here. Visual.
Why is that kind of weird? There's something weird going on.
Is it weird?
Why is Alabama in the college football playoff with like 3 losses to shitty teams?
Because I agree, they shouldn't be on. They shouldn't be there with 3 losses. They shouldn't be. But the playoff committee is such trash because at one point they say they it matters who you play. It matters about the losses.
One day they'll say it's not about the most deserving. It's about putting the best teams in. Blah.
Yeah.
And then the next thing, well, they deserve to be there.
But then the 3 losses because their strength of schedule.
Who'd they lose to?
They lost to Vandy,
Vanderbilt,
lost to Tennessee, and they've lost to Oklahoma in a horrible
Tennessee.
loss.
That would be considered a good loss.
But they have the 15th best strength of schedule. That's why they're still there.
But they've lost 3 of those games.
I agree. And what if Georgia loses to Texas?
Yeah.
They'll have 3 losses.
And they'll probably still be in.
They should have had 3 losses against Georgia Tech.
It went 9 overtimes with Georgia Tech. Glacier Peak could beat Georgia Tech.
8 actually, but the point is well taken. That was a great game by the way.
Georgia Tech, by the way, I got to give you props. I was on the airplane and you were giving me play-by-play. Like I was getting a text from you like every 10 seconds.
And I know, and then you're like, I'm going to airplane mode. I'm like, what? How can you go to airplane mode now?
I know. It was because that was like the start of the first overtime. And then you have to wait till they get to like 10,000 feet. And all of a sudden I'm like, okay, it's the 5th overtime. I'm like, what?
That's exactly how it went.
And then, you were giving me play-by-play. I was like on pins and needles.
Georgia Tech should have won that game like
100 times over.
Oh, my God.
I kept getting a text from you. Okay, Georgia Tech got a chance to win now. And I'm like, okay, fine. Let's do this.
You know what? Let's toast to unlimited texting.
Mr. Unlimited.
Unlimited. God, what a game. That was a fantastic game. Do you want to talk about playoff or overtime rules?
Kind of. I don't really care for the 2-point conversion thing.
I know. Didn't you send me Rich Eisen's whole shtick on that? Which I thought made sense. It was Rich Eisen. He's like, listen, start them at the 50.
I can't go that far, but I would say
why would you go that far?
Let's start them at the 35 so that at least they have to get some type of yardage to kick a field goal.
Well, that's not that some type of yard. These kids are kicking 50-yarders.
Okay, let's start them at the 35 is going to be
at the 50. That way they have to work their way. They earn it. So you put a clock on it, and they actually have to go down and earn a score.
I'd say 35. I'll go 35. Or even 40. But I just want them to they should have to do something to get into scoring, to get into scoring position.
But then if they get it at the 50 and they go down and they don't make it, they don't get a first down, guess what? The other team gets it and they have to earn it.
Correct.
So they kick a field goal and they win. That's fair.
Correct. I agree. If it was the 40, the 50, whatever.
I mean,
I don't like the 2-point conversion thing. That's so much of that's kind of like a flip of a coin thing.
You know what? Go back to what they did at Unlimited, where you start at the 25 then.
Yeah, I'd actually rather have that.
And then the other problem with the 2-point conversions is during that eight playoff or eight overtimes. Anyway, was the penalties, right? You get a penalty on a it's a questionable PI call.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
Well, all that does is move it up 1 yard.
I know, but it
gives them another chance. Well,
Georgia Tech outplayed them and should have
never got into overtime.
Times over.
That should have hurt Georgia that should have hurt their playoff chances.
It should have, but it didn't.
No, exactly.
Because it's the SEC, it's the ESPN Invitational. Let's just be real. They own the SEC. They're in cahoots. You want to talk about conspiracy? That's That's not even that is.
So right now you're sitting with 3 teams in the from the SEC, or is it 4? No, 4. 4 teams from the
Texas,
SEC.
Georgia, Alabama,
Tennessee.
So big right now. So Boise State's in, which I think they're going to get the shit kicked out of them.
Keep in mind
they could have a bye.
They're going to have a bye. Keep in mind Oregon went toe to toe with Oregon, had to do a walk-off field goal to beat Boise State, and that's the number 1 team in the country.
And that was weeks ago. That was
agree,
weeks.
But still,
it
happened.
I agree. Ohio State went toe-to-toe and lost by a point to Oregon at Oregon.
And Ohio State loses to Michigan, and they're still in the playoff. They're not even in the Big Ten championship.
Okay, can we talk for a minute and a half, 2 minutes about the Michigan or Ohio State game? First of all, 13.9 million viewers.
It's incredible. That's like, it's not Caitlin Clark numbers.
No,
it's not 18 million like the championship.
But it's pretty good. 13.9 is pretty good. What in the we talked about NFL quarterbacks earlier. Why do these two teams? Ohio State has the highest paid salary. They pay $20 million, and they've got that for a quarterback. That is the worst big-time football quarterbacking I've ever seen in my life. Those two quarterbacks couldn't quarterback their way out of a paper bag.
No, and how do they not?
Am I wrong?
Well, for some reason, Michigan's got their number right now.
Well, I understand that, but the quarterbacks were god-awful. They couldn't complete a pass.
No.
That was those teams aren't that good. Well, I came away from that team with that game.
Well, Ohio State's in the playoffs now.
Playoffs. I know, but they were always, because again, the Big Ten is over. Here's the other thing about the whole conference realignment, right? Which everyone's talking about, how Texas, they're new in the SEC, Big 12 team. Arizona State's in, they're a Pac-12 team. Oregon, number 1 team, Pac-12 team.
Yeah.
All these different conferences are actually. So what is my takeaway? The SEC isn't as good.
It was overrated.
Yeah, same thing with the Big Ten.
But they're overrated, but they're going to have 4 teams in the thing.
I mean, who would you put? And then you got SMU. You got the ACC problem. Have you watched much?
What about South Carolina? They didn't make it. They're not going to make it.
They're not going to make it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of bullshit.
Because they should be there before Alabama with 3. Alabama's got 3. Doesn't South Carolina only have 2 losses?
2 losses.
Yeah.
What if Texas beats the shit out of Georgia, which will pain me, but could happen? Is Georgia out?
Georgia should be out.
Again,
absolutely, because of 3 losses, and they just lost. They should be out for sure.
So if Alabama's out and Georgia's out, who's in? And by the way,
Alabama's not going to be out because they don't have any more games.
I know, and that's the other thing. Bullshit. The committee's like, well, if they don't have a game, you know what? Then SMU and all these teams that are playing in their championship conference games got screwed.
They shouldn't have a conference championship anymore. When you got 12 teams going, a conference championship just screws teams.
How much
completely.
does it bother you, the 12 teams?
Well, right now it's bothering you. Now you probably want 16 in now because there's a bunch
16.
of teams.
18 would be preferable.
18?
24.
Okay, you and Mike Leach are in the same category.
Well, it's not a playoff unless it's an actual playoff.
What do you mean that? Okay, then you could say the same. So should every team get in for the NFL?
I mean, you should go NBA style.
Well, NBA like 60% of the teams get in.
I don't think that's bad.
I do.
You give it a chance.
So what good does the regular? It's going to be what good does the regular season mean?
You know what?
Anymore?
You know what you're against, Tim Boyle?
What?
Hope.
No, but what I am against is it's going to be the exact same thing this year when the playoff finally it's official. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, these teams got screwed. We need more. We need more teams in. It's got to be 16."
And that's a win.
And when it goes to 16, it's going to be the exact same thing.
It will
Number
be.
17, 18, and 19 totally get screwed.
100%, and that's bad.
So where do you draw the line?
No, because you talked about.
Where do you draw the line?
I don't know.
See?
I don't know where you draw the line.
That's the problem.
Here's the other.
You were completely against, or you were completely against just having 4. You want to go to 12, and now there's 12, and a bunch of teams are still going to get screwed.
That's fine. That's the nature of it. You know what? Win a goddamn game. Win the games you're supposed to win.
Well, that's the thing. Alabama can lose. Okay, keep in mind. Let me just take you back a little bit.
Am I going down a path?
Not quite.
Have you forgotten about your paths? It's been so
Florida
long.
State was undefeated last year and couldn't get into the playoff.
And you know what?
They were undefeated.
No, were they undefeated?
Yes, undefeated.
But they did.
And they
only
didn't
4
get
teams.
in. I know, but they were undefeated. They were the only undefeated team. I think they were the only undefeated team.
Well,
the other teams all had losses, and Florida State couldn't get in.
That hasn't worked out for them. Anyway.
No, then their whole team went to the transfer portal that you really like.
Well, their coach, we don't know how good he is. Here's the problem.
He was undefeated.
Here's the problem.
And their quarterback got hurt in like the
Oh, that's
halfway
right.
through the
That
season.
was their-
His
that was the
quarterback
problem.
gets hurt, and they still went undefeated.
Did they go undefeated?
Yes.
You need to fact check yourself.
They lost their bowl game because their whole team left. They like 27 people.
I know, but coming up to the playoffs,
They weren't undefeated. Trust me, they were undefeated.
Okay. Well,
you can fact check me on the break.
I believe you. I believe you.
No, I don't. I'm kind of getting the feeling you're not.
No, I
sure,
do. But
though.
then I'm sitting there. Why didn't they make it? Because the ACC
got screwed. They got screwed.
Well, the ACC is going to get screwed again.
Yes, they are.
Somebody's always going to get screwed. It doesn't matter. But should Indiana be in there? Probably not. Should Penn State be in there? I think they're terrible.
I do too.
Should Boise State make it? It's the
Yes.
Mountain freaking
Boise
West.
State's
It's
not
the
only gonna-
Mountain West.
They're going to make it with a bye.
It's the Mountain West. Who have they beaten? They took Oregon to a close game. That's it.
They beat the Cougs when the
Which
Cougs were undefeated and
which
ranked.
I wish meant something.
Well, it did at the time. It doesn't now.
Poor Cougs. You have that on the
They
list.
got the best player.
You know what I'm going to do?
They got the best player in college football.
Are we going to get to that now?
Yes.
No, he doesn't. He's not the best
He
player.
100% is the best
No,
player.
he's not.
He's going to probably beat Barry Sanders' all-time rushing
And you know what?
record.
That is amazing. That is absolutely
He's already got
insane.
181 yards tonight through like the second quarter.
I'm not arguing that he is one of the best running backs in college football for many years.
He's the best in college football
this year.
this year. Yeah, the best, not one of the
I
best.
know. Okay.
He's absolutely
I
the
was
best.
going to say ever.
Okay, well, I don't know about ever, but
Well, oh, wait, what?
well, John Mateer is
I'm
pretty
s-
damn good rushing.
John Mateer. What I'm saying, are we getting into the Heisman debate?
Sure.
Good Lord. Okay, Travis Hunter. I don't know. We've never really seen anything like Travis Hunter. Totally. He plays 120 snaps a game. He is top 20. Okay. Let me put this to you, Tim Boyle. He plays both sides of the ball and he's the top 20. Okay. Top 20 out of like 4,000 kids. He's the top 20 in both of his positions.
Agree. It's rare.
One of the greatest college football athletes we've ever seen. End of story.
Okay, let me ask you this: if you switch Genty and Travis Hunter, Colorado's if Colorado takes Genty, they're in the playoffs and they're probably undefeated this year. If Travis Hunter's on Boise State, they're probably not in the playoffs.
It's the Mountain West.
Exactly.
You're playing the Mountain West in the Big 12. The competition level is it's not on the same level.
Genty's the more dominant player.
Oh my God. Really?
Yes.
So on both sides of the ball, I don't know. Does he play defense? How many interceptions does he have? How many tackles does he have? How much impact does he have on the game? He is a tremendous. You know what the problem here is? Shitty timing on Genty. Shitty timing.
I don't even know that Travis Hunter is the best player on his team. They just get.
Are you kidding me?
Shedeur Sanders is supposed to be the number one pick in the draft.
At quarterback.
Yeah.
Correct. I don't know that means you're the best on the team. I think Travis Hunter by far is the best athlete, the best player. He's the most impactful on the team, period.
Well, I still think Genty's the Heisman Trophy.
Well,
winner.
producer Mark, by the way, who's not here to defend, or I'm sorry, to gang up on me. I apologize. I used the wrong words.
Who does he think? I can't even remember.
He thinks Genty.
Thank you.
Genty's a lock. He agrees with you for everything.
I will give you credit.
He talks about loyalty. I've known him 37 years.
Well, he's going,
and I have no loyalty from you, Mark.
Well, you gotta earn it.
Jesus.
I think, but by the way, I do agree. I think Travis Hunter will win the Heisman. I just don't think he deserves it.
How could you even say that?
It was very easy. Took me like 5 seconds.
Oh my God. If I'm a D3 player in the beautiful Northwest Conference and I break every rushing record, should I win the Heisman? Am I the greatest because I think of its impact? Because I'm playing Draird?
Because Genty's the best player in college football.
I think he's
Travis Hunter's a good number 3.
I think he's second best.
I think that kid from Arizona State, that Bo Scarborough or whatever his name is. What is his name? Scatterberg.
Scattaboo. Cam
He's
Scattaboo.
legit.
He wants to be in the Heisman race.
He should be in the Heisman race.
I agree.
What year is he?
Senior.
Isn't he like an 8th year senior?
And I just want to tell you, he's a transfer.
Shocker.
Same thing with their number one receiver who got hurt. Transfer. Quarterback, transfer. We could go
Everybody's
on.
a transfer because there's no loyalty.
Mark Hyland included. There's no loyalty for producer
No.
Mark.
Exactly.
Bastard. So I think you think that Travis Hunter is not.
I think he's going to win.
But not on merit, not on actual. No. He doesn't deserve it. You think Ashton Genty deserves it?
I think he's going to get it because he's playing both sides of the ball. That's why he's going to get it. But that's not. But I don't think he deserves it.
When we ever have you in your lifetime, have you seen anybody to the level of him, to the level of competition, play both sides of the ball to the success that he has?
Probably the only person would be maybe Desmond. No, was it Desmond Howard? No. Who played both sides?
Well, Deion Sanders did.
Deion did a little bit. He kind of dabbled on the offense though.
Yes,
but he also did punt returns and kickoff returns.
But
same with is it Desmond Howard? Who's from
Desmond
Michigan?
Howard did a little. Yeah, he won the Heisman. Okay, let me ask you a question. Have we ever seen in college football to this level of competition, okay, over a 2-year period, someone play both sides and have this type of success and percentage of be this highly ranked in the stats?
No, but
overall.
You haven't seen a running back like this since Barry Sanders.
But you've seen it.
Since Barry Sanders, like
have you seen it?
30 some years ago.
Let me ask you again. Have you seen a Travis Hunter in your lifetime or in the history of college football?
Charles Woodson is who I was thinking.
Charles Woodson, yes.
And he won the Heisman. So we have seen it.
And
we have
to take a break.
We've seen it, right? I'm using the same argument you just used on me.
And we should. And because he deserves to be the Heisman.
Well, Michigan was also national champions that year and undefeated.
Yeah.
So
now, do you think Boise State? Let's go back to I won't show it on.
I think Boise State could beat Colorado.
I maybe
we'll find out because I think
we won't find out. What do you mean?
Well, we'll find out because I think Boise State's going to play like maybe Arizona State or the winner of. I think they're in like a collision course.
Well,
with
right
Arizona.
now they're going to be the
right
4th seed, right? So they're going to play Penn State, Arizona State.
They're going to play the winner, so they may play Arizona State.
I'm going to tell you this now, and it's fun because we don't know. I think they'll get the shit kicked out of them. Whoever they play, I think they're going to get beat.
Okay.
We'll see. I also agree with you that Ashton Genty is the greatest running back this year and in since
probably 30 years.
In 30 years, I agree with you. I'm not arguing that.
Well,
he should win the Heisman though this year, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, he probably won't.
Okay. God, we didn't even get to the transfer portal. Jesus Christ.
What are we going to say about that? It's terrible.
I got some things for you. Okay.
Oh, please.
Good
Lord.
All right. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with something.
We're back. We got in a huge argument during the break.
No, we didn't.
Didn't we?
That was child's play.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But you finally came around on everything. So thank you I appreciate that.
Yeah, right. Rapid fire. ASU, Iowa State.
I'd take ASU.
Penn State, Oregon.
Oh, Oregon. Easily.
Georgia, Texas.
Well, doesn't Oregon have a bye?
No, Oregon's playing tomorrow.
Oh, you're talking about the Okay, I'm thinking. Yeah. Okay, gotcha. Oregon easily.
Georgia, Texas. Alrighty then. Boise State's already in.
Boise State's playing tonight, and they were winning 21-0 with Genty's got like 1,000 yards.
Yeah, against UNLV.
Well, that's who got there.
I'm just saying.
UNLV, by the way. Well, okay, I'm glad you brought UNLV.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
UNLV, by the way, started out 3-0.
That's the only time you're going to say you're welcome in the next 10 minutes.
Starts out 3-0, and then their quarterback quits. Why does he quit? Because they're not paying him enough money. So he quits.
No,
Thank
he
you,
didn't.
Scott. Yes,
No, I
he
want to
quit.
clarify.
Okay, let's clarify.
He didn't get the money he was committed
Allegedly.
to get. Allegedly. So again,
UNLV says they gave him everything.
Yeah. So this kid's shaky.
Come on. And they're 3-0 and the quarterback just decides to quit because he's not making enough money. That sounds like something in the NFL. They're, I'm going to hold out, but he just literally quit. There's no commitment for anything. So they're paying him money. They're apparently not enough, but they're paying him money and he can just quit and leave. It's terrible. It's terrible, Scott.
Terrible. It is terrible.
I don't know how you can defend that.
It is terrible.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the Cougs just produced Cam Ward
that's not
and
what
Mateer, they're leaving for more money.
That's not what I'm defending. It is terrible.
That's horrible.
Anything else?
No, everything about it is terrible. But your argument, well, the ratings are up, and I don't give a shit about.
They're not just up, Tim. They're not just up. I know. I'm sorry. The ratings, the only way we measure of the popularity and demand, let's just take that out of this discussion. Let's take that out.
Dude, if there was public executions, it would get like massive ratings on TV. And people like us are just idiots. We're going to watch football we're going to watch college. The NFL could do a bunch of stupid things. We're still going to watch it.
But it's not just you and I.
No, there's a lot of idiots like us out there. We're not just a special type of idiot. We're a normal idiot.
And I've got news for you. They're growing more idiots every year.
They are. That's clear as can be. I actually think I'm a smart idiot.
College football. My point to this is it is bad. They need some rules. There's the employment contract. There's some other things that are going on. The fact that you can it's a free agency, all of that stuff. Where you get you and Tim or you and Mark gang up on me is that.
No, keep in mind Mindy's totally on my side.
Oh, of course,
she's
I'm sure she is.
Well, she's normally not on my side, but she's on my side. Yes, she normally takes the opposite point.
There is a pros and cons. There is a teeter tatter. One thing means this. Two truths can be true. It is shitty for Washington State. But I can't even have this discussion with Washington State, who I'm trying to support.
I told you it's very difficult.
I'm trying to be a Coug, and
it takes a special person to be a Coug.
It's a torture like I'm not familiar with.
Ryan Leaf, as crazy as he is, he sums it up good. It takes a special type of person to be a Coug. It's not for the faint of heart.
It is very Mariner-esque.
It's much worse.
God, it's terrible.
Because you're so much more emotionally tied to the school when you went there, The Mariners I can kind of ignore.
No, I can't for some reason.
But anyway,
I don't know
so
why.
your point is what?
My whole point is the way it's happening isn't great. There are horrible bads about it. There are a lot of things that are terrible.
See, that's where we're trying to get you to come around.
I understand, but there's also some unbelievably good sides of it. Because again, the school I went to, I'm not suggesting that I'm a super fan and have been there for years, and I'm not a season ticket holder since 1982 like Mark Hyland, producer Mark. Okay, I'm not claiming that.
Mark's a true alum.
Yeah, Rob Milliken. Guy goes even when they were terrible.
I respect
in
that.
In a boob, the guy went to the game in the middle, and he went to the parking lot for 3 hours because they stalled the game or whatever. I'm not claiming to be that devoted here. You know me, I'm not devoted to much.
That's true.
What I'm saying is the other side of it, Arizona State's an excellent case. There is no way they could get to the college football playoffs and be in the Big 12 championship without the current transfer portal model.
That's BS. They've been there. They've been there before. They were playing for a national championship one year.
In 1996.
But still, they did it.
In 1996.
There's a lot of teams that have never played for a national.
I'm off a decade. Excuse me. Pardon me. 86.
No.
No, it was 1986.
No, they were in the 90s.
John Cooper. I was there.
Didn't they have like Jake Plummer?
They were not playing for the national championship.
Okay, they went to the
Rose Bowl.
Okay, they were right in the thick of things for the national championship.
No, that's when they had 1 and 2. Your favorite part of the life, 1988.
when they had 1 and 2.
Yeah, well, it was remember Ryder poll? You loved it. Only 1 and 2.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they would have been there. If there was a number 3, they would have been there.
No, and they got beat, by the way, in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, they did. But that was like wasn't that like their only loss?
Yeah, Jake
of the year?
Snake.
Yeah.
Jake the Snake.
So they've been
They've
right
been there
on
in
the
1986. Are you kidding me right now?
and the 90s.
Oh my God, you're impossible. I'm saying is the parity. Okay, my argument is portal equals parity.
TCU just went to the playoffs like a couple years ago, and they'd never even sniffed it before.
And they did that because actually they got a
that
transfer.
was before the portal.
Well,
That was before the NIL and portal.
People were still transferring.
Yeah, I know, but the transfer portal wasn't in full effect at that point.
I agree. And TCU is a great example of, honestly, a flawed system. They were terrible. That coach, we saw him at Cal. He's not a good coach. What's his name? Can't remember. Just thought of him the other day. Anywho, my whole point is it has created this, it's not just one thing. I don't like the NIL how it is today. The original intent of it, I was okay with, but now it's gotten to, and it's an auction site, and it's not good.
That's exactly.
But you know who I don't blame the kids. I don't blame the kids.
I don't blame the kids. I've never said I blame the kids. It's the system.
I blame the billionaire boomers and the boosters. That's the people paying the money is who we should blame.
Okay, let me ask you this. Let me walk you down a little path.
Jesus.
What's the most popular sport in America?
NFL
football. It's not even close, right?
No.
What makes them so great? There's a salary cap.
Because it's parity.
There's a salary cap makes the parity though.
Right.
The salary, there is no salary cap. Then all of a sudden you go from they can't get paid to unlimited, and there's no cap, and they can go wherever they want. There's no commitment.
That was the concern before we went here. The concern was the rich are going to get richer, and believe me, the rich are getting richer.
Correct.
Okay, just like in real life, the rich are getting richer. Now, it doesn't always mean you win. Because let's look at Ohio State. I think they're going to get killed because I don't think they're very good.
They're in the playoff, though. They're in the playoff every year. They're in the playoff.
I agree. The same 8 out of 12 teams for the last 10 years have been in the playoff.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, I don't like that. Are you okay? Let me ask you this: Are you do you like the dominant? Do you like the the team that always wins every single year?
No, of course not.
I didn't think so.
No.
Isn't it fun that we have all these different things? We have 12 teams in the playoffs.
That's the only reason we got different teams is because we went from 4 to 12. So yeah, you got 12 teams now.
That's great.
But the NIL is making it so a lot of these teams will never sniff the playoffs.
But the NIL is a separate. It's part of it. But yes,
The NIL and the transfer portal go hand in hand because people are going into the transfer portal because they're getting it's a bidding war because the NIL money.
But
John Mateer, he's probably going to leave for make $1 million, $2 million a year.
But Arizona State and Ken Dillingham, dilly, he for some reason got these guys. They don't have a big budget. They don't pay shit, and he's gotten to this to come.
Yeah,
there.
because sometimes you can get people in the transfer portal that don't demand a lot of money, and like Boise State's kind of that way.
What I'm saying is, I think we have more parity today, even on a flawed system, than we've had in previous. And you know what? The numbers bear it out. I know you don't care about the numbers. You don't care about viewership. You don't care about merchandise sales. You don't care about any economic impact of who's actually watching college football, right?
Well, you're acting like that. This is the first year anyone's ever watched a college football game.
I'm not, but the numbers are unbelievable.
What are they?
I'm glad you asked. ESPN platforms delivered record-breaking college football viewership in 2024, with ABC owning the season. You notice, speaking of ABC, okay, even though there's only about 70 million cable subscribers these days, have you noticed that the ABC, the college football, is now on regular TV, on ABC, on network television all the time?
Hasn't it always been?
No, it hasn't.
ABC?
Owning the season's
Okay.
the number one network for college football, averaging 5.8 million viewers for 46 regular season games. An impressive, wait for it, 56% increase year over year. It is ABC's best college football season in 15 years.
That's because they probably got the better games this year for some reason.
Unbelievable.
But I could care.
I think there's a lot of different. I know you don't care about ratings.
No, it's not that I don't care.
No,
I just
you
don't think that's what makes. I don't think that's what my argument has nothing to do with ratings.
There has been more volatility, okay, in the top 25 rankings in 2024 than there's been almost in 50 years.
But here's the problem: is you constantly say that it's broken, it needs to be fixed, blah blah blah. We need guardrails on it, blah blah blah. But then you just say it's better because of the ratings. It's not though.
But sometimes you have to get through the muck to get to the other side.
Okay, I'm going to give you the example I gave in the text the other day. Mike Tyson's 65 years old and fought Jake Paul, and they get 10 times the viewership as an actual professional boxing match does. And they made Jake Paul made like $40 million, where a normal professional boxer will make like couple hundred grand in a fight or a pre-fight or something. So just because there's a whole bunch of viewers doesn't necessarily mean it's we saw a terrible fight in the Tyson.
I didn't see it, but but why did we? I know you said in your text, in your math, that means it was better boxing.
Yeah. So, but that's like that's your argument. So since all these people watched Tyson more than they watch some actual boxers that are still boxing and they're still champions, your argument would be, well, the Tyson fight's a better fight. It was terrible.
Yeah, because of the viewership.
Yeah,
so the quality of the boxing was not as good.
Correct. It was terrible, but it got all the viewers.
Okay, is the quality of college football today worse than it was 2 years ago?
It's not worse. It's just how they're doing it is worse.
But okay, if there's more interest, why are people so interested in the Tyson fight?
I don't know, because like I said, if there was public executions, they would get huge ratings.
I understand that, but part of the reason
it's hard to turn away from a train wreck.
Part of the reason, first of all, it's Mike Tyson. Okay,
yes.
You have celebrity involved.
Yeah, but he's he's older than I am.
But there was okay. Is it fair to say because he was he's 58? I don't think
he's 58.
Is there
58? And then he goes out there and he doesn't even try. It was obviously rigged as can be. He doesn't even try. He's got 20 chances to.
I'm sorry,
knock the guy's head off.
You're the guy who watches this shit every year.
It's like I said, it's hard to turn away from a train wreck.
It's rigged. Of course, it's rigged.
It is.
Jesus. You know why? Because there was the illusion, there was the perception, there was the promise, something you don't like, hope of parity, Tim. Because you had 58 years old and 28 years old, but 28 years old wasn't a boxer.
The hope was that Mike Tyson was going to knock his head off.
I agree. I didn't watch one
Jake
thing
Paul.
Of it.
What's funny is if you've seen the highlights, there's 20 shots where he could have just knocked the crap out of him and he pulls his punch back. Have you seen the
Tyson? No, I haven't watched 1 second of it.
He's got a clear shot to just knock him out and he pulls his punch back. And it's like, what? Come on.
This is why boxing isn't popular anymore.
But it is. That's the problem.
Well, as popular, it's not. It's different.
Do I need to pull the ratings out?
Yes.
Yeah, they do pay-per-view and people pay big money for it.
People,
idiots.
You?
Well, no, it was on Netflix, so it was free. I wasn't,
and it didn't work.
I actually might have paid for that. Sadly, I know it's terrible.
Anyway, God,
I told you I'm a special kind of idiot. And there's a lot of me out there.
That's the other thing. So college licensed apparel and merchandise has reached a new high.
But if you think that's happened because of the NIL and the transfer portal, you're crazy.
It absolutely has.
Oh, you're thinking the NIL's made it so people are buying more merchandise?
I asked ChatGPT and it agreed with me.
You just lost every argument from now on.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't, because it knows, because it's just reverberating what the internet's telling it. But the point is that all of these different things.
You know what else Chat GTP does, or whatever it's called? It loses games for coaches all the time.
That's not Chat.
That's analytics. It's AI.
It's not. That's generative. Yeah. Okay. Let's not get into tech talk with you. Okay. You don't want to get into tech talk with me.
No.
Okay. By the way,
I don't want you to lose another
could you
argument.
watch the Prime video last night? Could you watch the Amazon game last night?
I could, but I still can't do the fast forward and rewind.
Well, let's
and
get it on
pause.
the right remote.
You got to come over on a Thursday night and show me how to do this.
Jesus Christ, man.
I can't watch it on the Fire Stick. It's like it's not watchable.
Okay.
So I got to do it on my regular.
Okay. We agree that the system as we know it today is not ideal. It's not good. It's not.
Okay, at least you're agreeing
incentivizing.
with that.
Okay, but I need
At
you
least-
to live in. So you're like, when are you going to come around to this? When you come around to reality?
No, I need you to come around.
And I need you to come around that the world doesn't look like 1988.
Why don't we meet 90-10? I'm willing to do that.
Okay,
I'm willing to meet 90-10.
This is the problem with you and producer Mark. Whether you like it or don't like it, whether I sit there and go feel bad for Jake Dickert, is it Jake Dickert?
Yeah.
Coach Dickert at Washington State, because they're an impossible situation. They've gotten absolutely screwed over like nobody's business. Them in Oregon State. It's ridiculous.
And they continue to get screwed over.
I agree.
The
That
NIL is going to continue to. They're going to recruit great players, and the NIL is going to totally screw them, and the transfer portal combined.
That's true. Now, when we
See?
get to
Thank you.
basketball, when
Same
you get
thing
to-
there.
Well, I don't know. That's the same thing there. Because then I would ask you, why is Gonzaga being as successful and they're paying these kids a lot of money in their teeny tiny little school in Spokane, Washington?
Do you know how much it costs to go to Gonzaga? I do, by the way.
I know you've had someone go there. But what's that got to do with anything?
Because they produce a lot of just because they're a small school, it costs 1,000 times more to go there than it does these other schools.
Okay, wait a minute. Just a second. Is Harvard playing in the college football playoffs?
No.
I mean, are Ivy League schools playing? Vanderbilt costs more than Alabama.
Well, first of all, those schools can't give scholarships, by the way.
I know. What I'm saying is, I don't know that the cost of school is
but you're acting like
data
they shouldn't
point
have
here.
any money. They got a lot of money.
Yeah, but they're a teeny tiny school.
I know, but that's a private school.
And they're not even in a league, really.
But they've been a college basketball powerhouse for 20 years.
And
so,
there you go. I'm sure I'm too naive to say this. If you get the right person, right, you get Kenny Dillingham, okay? You get the right person, and I'm not saying Dickert is. You start winning, you just said on the break. You just said on the freaking break, if Washington State University doesn't lose the games that they should have won, they'd be in contention for the college foot playoffs.
I know. Well, you could say that any year. But this
No,
year they
but
were
no,
shit. They
we
were
had a-
lost to a bunch of shitty teams, and they don't deserve to be there.
I know, but if
They-
the point is, and you're like, oh, I'm glad they didn't.
I
That's
am.
terrible. Your
No,
school
I'm
had
a
a chance to be in the national spotlight, other
But it
than
wa-
Saturday
no,
mornings.
that was fake. That was they're not a good team. They are not a good football team.
Is Indiana?
They couldn't beat New Mexico, for
Is
God's
in-
sake. They couldn't beat freaking.
That was embarrassing.
They couldn't beat New Mexico, and Wyoming was 2-9, and we lost to them. They don't deserve to be in the college football.
Well, I
playoff.
know now,
See,
but
I'm
if
a
they would have,
realist.
if they would have beaten
I'm
all
not
of
like a
those,
Husky fan that thinks that
Oh,
the
here we
Huskies would.
go.
The Husky fan would still think they deserve to.
aren't
be
they in the college football playoffs?
there. Well, they can only have one more loss, but it's got to be a good loss.
What bowl are you going to be in? Is Washington State going to play Washington in a bowl?
I wonder if they could. They could meet up.
You're freaking ridiculous.
Thank you.
Okay, we got to take a break. I don't
All
think
right.
anybody won. The reality is, Tim, this shit's going on. It's happening. Money runs everything. ESPN and Fox are running college football.
Well, see, there's where you're right. You're right about that. I don't disagree with any of that. I just don't like it,
I know.
and I think it's bad for
I
it's bad for a lot of colleges,
okay.
and it's
okay.
bad for college. It's bad for alumni that get attached to a player and
That's bullshit.
What
You
do you
don't get attached to a player. You get attached to your team. Okay, so let
you
me
get
ask
attached
you.
to both.
let me ask you.
You don't think people are attached to John Mateer right now and they're, like excited for him and think it's great,
Well,
and it'd be like, love to have him come back next year as a junior and be a Heisman contender?
Yes, I do. But if they get Joe Schmo and he can throw and pass like Johnny Mateer next year, are you not going to root for the Cougs next year?
Well, of course you are.
Then what are you talking about? You love your school. It's a brand. People love their brand.
So you shouldn't be disappointed when you
Sure
develop
you would. Yes.
these people and they leave.
Yes, you should be, but
Of
that's
course,
like the
that's the
workplace. That's like the workplace. This happens in work all the time.
Well, it didn't used to happen in college football every year. You got to, like Mark Hyland says, you can't. It's tough when you got to recruit your own players every single year.
I agree, it is tough, but that's the life that's reality.
That's what the NIL and transfer portal have created.
And you know what the problem for you and Mark Hyland is, and I'm just trying to be more accepting is.
Well, first of all, me and Mark Hyland are not alone. There's like millions of people that feel the same way.
I acknowledge that. There's also millions of people who are having one of the most fun times of college football. I have enjoyed the absolutely ever living shit out of college football this year.
But that's a whole different argument. That doesn't mean people are I think there's a crap load of people that are still enjoying college football, but they're upset that the way it's going, the way it's heading and the way it's gone.
But just like real life, we don't matter.
Well, I mean, if enough of us felt the same way, we would.
56% more than last year liked it.
Well, there need to be a lot of people that
we're coming back with bonus section because I need a beer.
I need something stronger. I'm gonna go get some dark stuff.
We'll be back right after this.
Guten Tag und Grüß Gott from Bavaria. This is Randy from Neunkirchen, Germany, and you're listening to the Scott and Tim Sports Show.
It's bonus time. Bonus time. You got anything?
I got something. You do, though.
I thought you just told me you didn't.
No, I didn't say that. I said I do. I said
okay, so BYU.
BYU.
Yeah. So he got an NI deal with Manischewitz, which is freaking hysterical because Manischewitz makes matzah. They make all the Jewish products.
Oh, that okay.
So they make
noodles and stuff?
Noodles, matzah.
Okay.
They make the wine, which really isn't wine. It's like the cheap, shitty wine that you serve at the Jewish holidays. It's Manischewitz.
Why do they do such cheap wine at the holidays?
Well, I don't know because
the Jews aren't. Well, are you saying the Jews are cheap? You're making fun of yourself. Because the Jews usually have a lot of money.
I'm saying Manischewitz.
Oh, that brand is cheap?
Yeah, I mean, it's not, I don't know. It's just the wine. The wine.
The wine?
All their other products, though, I love the fact he's doing ads with the matzah. It's hysterical to me. That's my bonus.
Oh, that's all
other than what you watching.
What do you got for what you watching?
Well, we haven't watched a lot of streaming. We're backed up on a lot of streaming stuff.
So are we.
Well, you're never here. But
True.
we are. You know what I like on network television?
What?
The new Matlock with Kathy Bates.
Okay, I'm going to have to watch that. Is that good?
It's really good. It's cleverly done. She's terrific in it. It's just
that's like a lawyer show, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I ever watched the first one.
Oh, you didn't?
No. What about Yellowstone?
I'm out on Yellowstone.
What?
I tried.
Really?
And then it was too formulaic. It was the same story every week. It just they almost killed off one of the main characters.
Well, they just did that.
Right, with John Dutton.
Spoiler,
is that Scotty spoiler?
No, I mean, if you don't know that this is like he gets killed off. I mean,
you can't. Everybody loves it. It's very popular. Like something else we were discussing.
No, if it's very you should like it then. If it's very popular and the ratings are through the roof,
the ratings are.
So,
you're right.
So you're going against yourself.
No,
here.
I'm not.
You're strengthening my argument.
No, I'm not. I'm not strengthening your argument. I'm saying
are too.
I'm not claiming anything wrong with it.
Okay, you just quit it. You just quit it. Though.
It just wasn't for me.
Okay.
But I understand that it's very popular, and I'm happy for everybody.
Good. I'm watching it.
I think we're the latest season. The latest season.
Yeah, we're current. Yeah, obviously this isn't a spoiler alert because everybody knows that John Dutton gets killed off because
Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
Why did Kevin Costner not want to do it?
I don't know. I'm not sure what the specifics are. Originally, because he's doing that Horizon Part 1 and Part 2. Is it Horizons or something?
Okay.
I don't know. But
is there anything else you're watching that you?
How about Shrinking?
I love Shrinking. I'm done with Shrinking.
Oh, you're done. No, you can't be done.
Well, I'm on the latest episode.
You're current.
I'm current. It's fabulous.
It's great. That's on Apple TV. Yes. If you're not watching it, watch it. It's Harrison Ford and who's the other star?
I can't remember. He's
the executive producer.
It's so good. It's hysterical.
Very good. Shrinking, they're actually shrinks. That's where Shrinking comes from.
Thank you for that.
So watching that. By the way, you were talking about how the airport flew into this, completely off topic.
Of course,
flew in and out of the Bob Hope.
Well, you just came back
Burbank.
from there Wednesday.
Yeah, in and out, down and back same day.
Yeah,
that Bob Hope Airport is easy to get into and stuff, but here's the problem with it. They got like 2 Spirit Airlines going at like all times, and it completely makes you think you're in Walmart.
Yeah,
you think it's a freak show in there.
I haven't been there for a long time. Like you said, it's like Newark Airport. It hasn't been updated since 1978.
Oh God, it's so out of date.
Yeah.
It's like, but there's only like 6 gates maybe. It's
yeah,
really
it's
small.
I loved it.
Easy to get in and out of. It's kind of nice. But the Spirit Airlines factor changes everything about an airport.
Don't you have like you've literally been on the road all year. You have nothing like, tips from the road with Tim Boyle? You got nothing?
Tips? Like what? What do you mean?
I don't know. You've traveled your ass off. I still don't know. You're on planes every week, and I don't know what you do on the planes.
What do you mean? What do I do?
What do you do? Do you just sit there? I know you're in first class now all the time, so you just drink?
Alaska's 8, but generally not, because I'm going to like work stuff.
Yeah.
So
well, it shouldn't stop you.
It shouldn't, but it does. No, generally it's $8 to get the internet.
Yeah.
So I usually get the internet.
Don't you do the monthly thing?
Nah, my work pays for it.
I understand why you do the monthly and save them a couple bucks.
Because I asked my boss and he's like, no, just don't worry about
whatever.
It. So
I hate you. You have unlimited expenses.
I'm actually kind of tight with my expenses.
I know you are, because you haven't fully grasped Bougie Boy.
You're probably right.
Yeah. Oh, we're both drinking.
But the Burbank Airport, oh boy, if you fly in and out of there, be prepared. There's some weird shit.
Different world.
It's a different world. It's kind of like one of those scenes in Star Wars where they walk in the bar and there's all those weird people everywhere. That's kind of what I feel like when I'm there.
What about hotels? Do you have anything? I mean, have you
hotels? I'm a Hilton guy, so I'm like Hilton Garden or Hampton package. I actually usually do the DoubleTree.
Aren't you platinum fantasy?
Oh yeah, I'm like their highest one. It's a diamond.
Diamond.
Yeah. And I'm like, by the way, I think you may owe me a beer for the 100K. I'm only at like 95 right now.
Yeah, you're getting the 100K.
One way or another, but I may have to like do my own flight just to do it.
I don't know. I think there could be another little trip.
There could be, the way it's going.
Yeah. Okay. Was that bonus?
I think so.
I don't know. Underwhelming.
Kind of was, but hey, what do you do?
We're exhausted from.
We had too many arguments, and then we were arguing like off the air.
I know.
We
go downstairs.
Mindy's taking my side.
Always. I can't.
No,
get
not
away
always.
From it.
This is like a rarity.
Well,
for me.
not when
I'm cherishing the moment.
Not when I'm on the other side.
Well,
She's
just on the
with
NIL
you.
thing.
Rob Milliken, I need you. Okay, I want to thank all the guests we never got. I want to thank the sponsors we never signed and couldn't quite sign.
They were right there, though.
I don't know when this is coming out, but if you're at the Everett Silver Tips tomorrow night, I'll be your in-stadium host.
You will, won't you?
I will, filling in for the great Steve Willits. Also, look to STSPN as we've got a great slate of high school basketball. So fun doing basketball.
I gotta join you for a couple.
Come on out if you're
When's
ever here.
I want to do the Mill Creek game.
The Jackson,
yeah.
I don't know. All right.
You don't know?
I mean, I knew it's on the schedule. So.
Okay.
Love to have you. Thanks again for everybody. And that would be a good night.
Good night.